Okay, we are live and welcome guys to the latest live stream of the FPL family. My name is Lee, this is Sam. Already lots and lots of you in the live chat, so thank you for joining guys, thank you for joining. This is, as you know, our second live stream we've had with our new camera. Now hopefully, I've messed around with the settings a little bit. Hopefully the mic's not quite as sensitive as it was before, because I was listening to it back last time and actually it was a bit muffled when I was laughing, and to be fair there was quite a lot to laugh about when you were talking about having like two mics, one each, which was kind of entertaining. So hopefully the sound is better guys. Tell us in the live chat if it's not, and hopefully we don't look like ghosts this week, because actually last week, if you watch the video back, we look a bit pale.
Well, I've got makeup on just in case.
Oh, you've put some makeup on tonight. Right, good. Okay, good. And actually, I'm not quite as ill as I mean, last week I struggled through it, guys.
To be fair, you have been on your deathbed.
I was. In case you didn't notice, I was pretty ill last week and coughing and spluttering a lot through it. Getting generally a bit better this week, hoping that by the time we go on holiday, which is Thursday, I'm going to be a lot better. And if I'm not, at least some Dubai sun is going to kill that cold. Hopefully. So guys, tell us if the stream is good tonight. Hopefully it's the sound's a bit better. Hopefully we don't look quite as pale. I've had to play around with the settings. It's actually a little bit wider screen as well, if you notice that. But I've got a little bit kind of,
yeah,
I don't know,
it does look
bit of theatre mode. I don't know. I thought that might just change it up a little bit. But tell us what you think. So let's say hello to a few people before we get going. So a lot of you are already in the chat. So welcome and join. Salah is saying the sound is exquisite. He's saying the sound is exquisite. Now that is what I want to hear. That's made me.
That's made you happy.
That's made me happy because it was $89.99 this camera. You know what I'm like when it comes to money. I'm a tight git, and that's made me very happy, Salah. Thank you very much. Who else can we say hello to? Jamal's here. Hey Jamal, good evening.
Hi Jamal.
Leo's here. JC's here. Tatenda Gosh is here. It's a new name. I've not heard Tatenda join before, so thank you for joining. 05 Marianne is here, thanks for joining. Spencer's here, good evening Spencer. Good old Jeff is here, Jeff Holt, he of the in-laws fame, started the hashtag FPL family in-laws, thank you for that Jeff. So he's the one that's to blame for that one. Fozzie B's here, thanks for joining Fozzie. Who else have we got? Luke is here. Luke, good evening. Leo, have we said hello to Leo yet?
Yeah,
Not sure.
you did.
Leo?
You always seem to say hello to him twice, I think.
Well, now that I know what how to pronounce his name, I feel like that's how I should do it, right?
I want to say it all the time.
Amwonit's here as usual. Thanks for joining, Amwonit. Mike Gascoigne is here. Thanks for joining, Mike. Carl Henrik is here. It's a new name. Not heard Carl join before, so Carl, thank you for joining. Michelle is here as usual. All sorts of people. Josh as well. Josh Waldridge. So thank you for joining. Loads and loads of you in the chat already, and actually lots of scores being posted already, and actually some pretty good scores knocking about.
Great.
Some pretty good scores knocking about. Where do you want to start? I want to start with, I just want to talk about what's up on the screen right now. The Carabao Cup final. I know it's an FPL vlog. I guess we've got to talk about that cup final just very, very briefly, because obviously we've got pretty much the repeat fixture on Thursday coming up that's going to obviously conclude Gameweek 28. What were your thoughts on the Carabao Cup final? Was it that City were really good, or were Arsenal that bad?
I think both, actually. I think City were
good.
I
think so.
I thought City played well. They deserved to win the game. Comfortably deserved to win the game. Arsenal, look, I really struggle with a team that plays that badly in a cup final. It's a cup final.
Yeah.
It's one game to win you a bit of silverware that guarantees you Europe for next season, and you can't turn up. Sorry, there's a problem there.
They were pretty bad. Actually, Mike is saying, Arsenal would die today, and when it's saying Arsenal are jokes.
They are.
And
I take my Spurs goggles away. Watching that as just a football fan with no interest in who wins, because it really makes no difference to me.
Yeah.
What happened to them today? It was almost like they couldn't be bothered.
Well, for me, I think they set up to frustrate City. They didn't really have much attacking intent, until the Aguero goal goes in. The Aguero goal is bad, by the way. Aguero, it's a good finish, right? But the ball just comes over the top from Bravo.
Yeah.
It bounces once, and then Mustafi gets a little nudge from Aguero, and Mustafi's giving it all of this. Must be a foul. Never a foul. Come on, Mustafi. He's half your height. Do you know what I mean? It's only Aguero. He's only little. And, the ball's bounced over him, and Aguero's a good finish, right? Once the second goal went in, I thought the Arsenal mentality was worrying, actually. Really worrying. There wasn't really a leader on that pitch. It was a bit like, come on. Yeah. It's a cup final, for goodness sake. And then they obviously conceded the third one quite quickly after.
And for me, I know how good City have been this season, but we also know that they are beatable, as Liverpool have proved. If you go at them with the right mentality and with the right setup, they are you can get around City. And in a cup final, in a one-off match like that, it's the perfect opportunity for Arsenal to have a go at them. Just to go, have a go at them, see what happens. And for me, they blew their chances today. They didn't have that desire to win the game. City, on the other hand, they wanted to win that game. You can tell they went out, they wanted to win.
Hungry for the trophy,
they wanted
weren't
the trophy, they wanted the first trophy of the season. They wanted it in their cabinet so that they could go, right, that one's done, let's move on with the league, let's move on with Europe, everything else. Yeah, for me, I think if I was an Arsenal fan going into Thursday now, I'd be not looking forward to that game at all.
It's a bit of a worry, isn't it? And actually, I think they're at home, Arsenal.
They are, yeah.
So, they've got the home crowd behind them, but that home crowd can easily turn on them if they start seeing that same sort of attitude.
Well, they had half of Wembley today.
Yeah, true. I mean, so let's talk about FPL from that game then, or the Carabao Cup and the upcoming game. One piece of news is that obviously Jesus came back into the game today, played, I think came on as a sub. Interestingly, didn't come on for Aguero, came on with Aguero. So it's kind of interesting to see that Pep, and we saw this earlier on in the season where he kind of goes with both. How do you think City are going to line up? The starting lineup's going to look on Thursday. Do you think Jesus is going to come in and start, or is he going to go both, or just Aguero? What's your thoughts? Because Aguero played pretty much the fair amount of the game, right? Best part of 90 minutes.
So for me, it's all going to depend on whether Jesus has got a full match in him on Thursday night. Like, has he got 90 minutes in him? After the long layoff for injury that he's had, probably not. So is he likely to come on 60 minutes into the game, something like that, play for the last half an hour or so? Maybe. They don't need him to play on Thursday night. It would be a bonus, I think, to have him back, because they weren't expecting him back this quickly anyway, were they? So, no. I don't know. I can see him playing both, sure. I think it also, doesn't it partly also depend on whether Sterling is able to play on Thursday night, because if he's missing, then that frees up a spot that Jesus could take. Yeah,
potentially, and I think that's why we might see them both, because I'm not sure Sterling is going to be fit for Thursday. I think the reports, generally speaking, are that he's not going to be fit for Thursday. We don't know that for sure, but I think that's generally the feel. A lot of you guys are saying Jesus to start on Thursday. I'm with you on that, guys. I think Carl Hemrick is saying that. Dom is saying that.
Not Aguero or both?
Let's see what the guys say. But for me, I think he's going to start both. He's going to go with both. And I can see, if they get ahead in that game, that it could be... Well, let's see. I mean, it could be Aguero gets hauled off because they want to...
Rest him.
I say rest him. They're through in the Champions League, aren't they? They can rest players in that Champions League return leg because they're 4-0 up. And they've got to go play.
Well, they can.
So then it comes down to your Jesus comment, which is, has he got the legs to play the full game? Let's see.
You just never know when a player comes back from injury, do you? Whether some of them, they come back from injury and they're fully fit and they can play for 90 minutes and they're fantastic. Sometimes they come back from injury and actually they've only got half a game, 60 minutes, however long in them, and they need a few games just to kind of get running. And I don't know, looking at Jesus today, certainly didn't seem to have any fitness issues.
Looked all right, didn't he? He looked pretty hungry for it.
So I wouldn't be surprised, to see him start. But can I see him not starting Aguero? No.
The form that this guy's in right now is frightening, Aguero. And I sold him. You guys that follow me on Twitter, you'll know that I sold Aguero this game week to bring in Kane, which...
It's paid off, all right, so far.
Well, we'll see, won't we? We'll see whether that pays off on Thursday. I mean, Kane was...
Wasteful.
Oh, man, how he didn't score a hat-trick there. We'll come to the Spurs game later on. If you're a Kane captain, how do you feel? Are you happy you got the goal, or are you unhappy because you could have had a hat-trick? I mean, Spurs could have had at least a couple of penalties.
Don't talk to me about it. Don't talk to me about it.
I think I know how you feel. So I don't know yet whether the Aguero to Kane thing is a payoff. He didn't get any bonus points because he was wasteful. He was Salah-esque, actually, from that sense. So I don't know whether it's going to pay off. But right now, I'm going into Thursday... frightened that I haven't got Aguero, because he is the man on form right now. Bang, bang on form, as are City. So, let's say hello to a few other people. So, El Stato has joined, and actually he's joined as El Stato.
Oh!
So he's obviously got either a new YouTube account or gone to his, some other YouTube account. So it's not Chris that's joined us tonight, it is El Stato. So for you guys that are not following El Stato on Twitter, we mention him many, many times on these vlogs. Go and follow Chris.
Amazing stat graphics as well.
Loving the dashboards, absolutely loving the dashboards. So let's get on to FPL then. We've talked about the Carabao Cup. Let's get on to, and I'm going to change the window so that we get away, and all the Arsenal fans can look back now. Can look back at the screen, because I'm going to take it away from that. and I'm going to put it on to the results for this game week. Before we do that, do you want to talk about our teams and how we got on?
No.
Come on, let's talk about your team, because
talk about my team.
You've still got KDB to come, haven't you, and Sterling, so it's not going to be terrible if Sterling plays.
Well, right, okay, so I can't feel too upset. Sorry, my watch is bleeping. I can't feel too upset because
40 points, okay.
I can't feel too upset because pretty much everybody's defensive lines are blanked unless you got a Spurs.
No one got clean sheets.
Unless you got Spurs or Watford.
Spurs or Watford. In actual fact, that was obscene, actually, at 3 o'clock on the 3 o'clock Saturday games. Absolutely obscene for blank.
Nobody.
For blanks, right? So, and you guys that follow me on Twitter will know this. I put something out there saying, where are all the clean sheets? Only Brighton and Burnley left. No sooner had I hit send on that tweet
than
conceded. Brighton conceded, and then I was just like, oh, only one left now, and I'm a Ben Mee owner. Gaviadini, of all people, pops up with possibly the jammiest goal for Southampton.
Honestly.
Sorry, Elstato, I know you're a Saints fan, but what's the ref doing? Getting in the way there. The Burnley players were incensed.
Well, I was annoyed with my defensive line, but hey, it is what it is. And I had a few heated words with some people on Instagram about why.
Did you?
Well, you
should never get into slanging matches on social media.
So it wasn't a slanging match. They were questioning. They were questioning why I benched Alonso this week.
I think we're all potentially questioning that a little bit. But go on.
Well, yeah, and they were all basically saying I was a bit of a plonker, and I was. I mean, to be fair, in most other game weeks, I would totally agree that to bench Alonso is ridiculous. But I looked at, the last few weeks, and to be honest, he's really irritated me by not playing for the last couple of game weeks. And then I looked at today's fixture and thought, they've got United. I cannot see a Chelsea clean sheet against United. I also can't see him doing anything in that game, and I was right in the end.
He was still in some pretty advanced positions though.
Yeah, well,
in a very typical Alonso way.
Yeah, I mean he was, but as I kind of thought would be the case, Chelsea didn't keep a clean sheet in that game.
Okay, yeah.
And for me, when I was picking the reason I'd left him on the bench eventually is because I looked at Charlie Daniels. Now this backfired on me anyway, but I looked at Charlie Daniels and thought, Newcastle.
So as a Daniels owner, you're now worried because he got hauled off at half time, by the way.
Yeah, I know he did.
And I think his replacement, I think it was Steve Cook that came on.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Scored the goal and looked sensational.
Yeah.
So you're a bit worried as a Daniels owner now over his starting position?
Who knows? I mean, so when the last few weeks have just gone to pot for me. I don't know what's gone on. I'll keep an eye on it. It's not a big concern at the moment because if Charlie Daniels doesn't play, I play Alonso, so it's not a problem. It'll be a bit irritating for the double game week, but then I might just switch him and I could get Ake instead for the double game for the 31 game week rather. So yeah, I just looked at the two fixtures and thought I think Newcastle was a better option. So defensively, it's been a disaster.
It has for everybody though, so I wouldn't worry too much about it.
No, the Ibe thing really got me. That really irritated me.
What did he do? Not play?
Didn't play him. No.
Oh, yes.
Dropped him because he played
Defoe.
That was a
risk, though.
Played Defoe, didn't he? He played Defoe.
Didn't Defoe come on though?
Yeah, but he played two up front. Josh King played with Callum Wilson, and then Defoe came on, and so I've never played.
I was always a bit concerned that was a risk with Ibe.
Now that's a bigger concern for my Bournemouth players than the Charlie Daniels thing. I don't know what I'm going to do about Ibe. I'll watch and see what happens next week as to whether he gets a start or not. Because again, I've got a few game weeks for this to be a problem, so it's fine.
Well, actually, all Bournemouth assets. I mean, certainly those two guys. And I'm on Callum Wilson as well, who had a pretty bad game until he got hauled off for, I think, Defoe. All of the Bournemouth assets, we're sort of now, and we'll come to this a bit later on, we talk about Game Week 31 strategy and what the next few weeks might look like. But I'm looking at that now, I'm thinking, Wilson, back-to-back blanks, might even be 3 blanks now. I want rid of him, but I'm not gonna, because he's got the 31. And you're looking at Ibe going, well, is he a rotation risk? Do I get rid of him now? Well, I'm not gonna, because he's going to play 31. So you're kind of stuck with these Bournemouth assets now. And for Bournemouth, you could potentially read Everton, Watford, Stoke, etc. Let's talk about Game Week 31 a bit later on, because it's I think we're in for a few weeks of mediocrity here as we pile up on some duds potentially. But we'll talk about that later
on. So where I am at the moment, I've obviously got KDB to come on Thursday night. He's a bit of a magician, so he could do anything. Let's be honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll have Sterling coming off my bench now for Ibe if he plays. If not, Alonso will be coming on for 1, so that's pointless. Virtually might as well be pointless. Yeah, I'm a bit cross with them, but it is what it is. I still feel like I'm in a decent position moving forward. I still feel like I've got some decent players in there. So I'm not overly concerned. Actually, as it goes with the Salah and Kane thing, because I had a lot of people questioning, was I wearing my Spurs tinted goggles with Kane captaining over Salah, and I just actually, as it went, they cancelled each other out. So.
And actually, we'll come to the Spurs game later on, but Kane could have had it's another one of those games where, as a Kane owner, I'm sitting there hoping for something, but not too much because I haven't captained him, and he could have had a haul today. And
I think you could argue that for Salah as well, though, couldn't you?
Actually, you're right. Actually, Salah did miss a bit as well. He did miss a bit as well. So before we come to you guys and find out how you've got on this game week, let's just have a quick look at my team because it's actually not been too bad this game week. So I'm on 59. Which is not too bad. Pretty happy with that. Should be a green arrow. I've got Sterling to play. Again, defensively bad, right? But I think we've covered that. Everyone seems to be pretty bad.
Because a lot of people got Spurs defenders. There were a lot of Vertonghen owners out there be annoyed he didn't play this week.
Yeah, and what's really annoying is that the goal that Liverpool conceded. If Liverpool just switched on, that goal wouldn't have gone in. The Burnley goal, the Southampton goal. Yeah. It's just annoying because the ref got in the way. And then the Chilwell goal, the Shaqiri. I'm obviously not complaining about Shaqiri scoring, as you guys can see. But all of those guys, the Shaqiri goals is a class goal. So all of them have conceded one goal each, and it could have been very different for our defences this game week.
And should have been different.
However, twos all round. The midfield and the forwards, though, really coming to the fore. With the exception of Callum Wilson, as we've just discussed, I don't think I'm going to transfer him out because of game week 31.
I don't think you can at the moment. Not really. Sorry, I've got the hiccups again. Every time we seem to come on here, I get the hiccups. I don't think you can at the moment. Not with a player like Callum Wilson. The only issue you might have with Callum Wilson is now Defoe is fit again and Josh King got a start. Is he becoming a rotation risk?
Well, yeah, I think he is potentially with Defoe playing. I mean, especially as Callum Wilson hasn't really played very well for a few weeks, so I think he could be. But given that Bournemouth playing 31, I'm reluctant to sell. But we'll come to that quandary in a bit.
Might be a sell for another Bournemouth though.
Yeah, it could be. Or Defoe maybe. I suppose maybe. I think he's a bit more money. Eriksen 6. So I'm quite happy with that. I took out at the very last minute. I did Sanchez to Eriksen. And you say never do Saturday mornings, but I did do a Saturday morning. Sanchez to Eriksen. Mainly because we were out Friday night. I didn't have a chance to do it Friday night.
Well, you nearly did it when we were out Friday night.
I nearly did it there and then. I'd had a couple of beers.
We were sitting in the arena at the O2, and he's got his phone out on the fancy app, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I think I'm going to make a change." It's like, "Don't make a change now. What are you doing?"
So I didn't do it Friday night, but I did do it Saturday morning. And actually, looking at that, I'm pretty happy with that because Eriksen got the assist for Kane. Sanchez again didn't really look as if he was in the game much.
Should have scored.
Did he have a chance? Have a good chance? Oh, okay, all right.
Missed a sitter. Well, it should have been a sitter. Just sort of stumbled over it.
I remember seeing a chance. I think it was a good chance. So
it was very close.
But again, we say this every week. Seems to be with Sanchez. The one he missed at Newcastle, he missed a penalty in the previous game week. So I'm still not seeing. And my thoughts on doing the Eriksen transfer was that Spurs fixtures look very good for the next three, including the Palace game. Sanchez's don't. On United's don't. Despite the very good performance today at Old Trafford.
No, don't get me wrong. I think you've done absolutely the right thing. I'm not arguing with you. I think it's the right decision.
And I still don't think they're getting the best out of Sanchez right now. I still think he's being shoved wide and he needs to be more central. But nevertheless, very happy to bring Eriksen. So that was good. Big Shaqiri has been phenomenal for me over the last few game weeks.
Yeah, you watched me jinx him in a couple of weeks.
Absolutely great. Yeah. So if you bring him in, let's see what happens. I think he'll be a very popular transfer over the next couple of game weeks. As we build to 31, we know Stoke have got the game clearly. And if you look at who we think is essential for game week 31, and there ain't many, that is a very, very short list. There's some Liverpool players on it maybe. Shaqiri is borderline essential for that 31, I would say.
I'd agree.
The challenge you've got is if you bring him in, 32 and 33 look bad. I think there's a couple of difficult fixtures. So yes, if you've got the wild card, that's what you would do. So we'll come to, again, strategy later on, because again, I've seen on the flip of your page here, this is looking like some proper strategy going on here. Look at this, guys. Unbelievable.
Well, I told my
columns and rows.
I told my Instagram followers that they weren't allowed to share this with you. I shared it with them on, I don't remember what day it was now, Thursday night, and told them they weren't allowed to share it with you. But apparently nobody did either. So
I was already blown away by what you'd done last game week. And how I think everyone's minds were kind of blown. I don't know whether they can see it. You can hold it up and see what happens. I don't know whether you can see it in the OBS, guys, but that is looking pretty good. That is looking very, very...
It's just basically transfer week by week, so I know what I'm doing. Because we're away for for 2 game weeks. I have to make decisions about.
Yeah, we are.
So I'm going to make one, I think, for this game week coming, and then not make one for the game week after. So I'll then have 2 for the game week after.
All right. So all in all, team looking pretty good. Sterling still to come. We'll see whether that happens or not. If he doesn't play, it's Miljokovic for 2. So let's have a quick look at the FPL Family League and see how Mr. Rice is getting on. Not doing too bad, I don't think. Let's see. 51 points, not too bad, Jamal. Monreal, Otamendi to play. Looks like he bought in Mane, which is a good shout. Gross with another assist, that's good. So not looking too bad there, Jamal. Happy days. So Jamal's on 51. And we've got...
Sorry about the Palace result though, Jamal.
Yes, bad result for Palace. Yeah, they were held out for that long. They've led a charmed life, didn't it, their goal, for quite a long period of that game. David Isaac, who I now follow on Twitter because he's made himself known to me and wanted to follow me on Twitter, which is great. 56 points.
Oh, he's not happy though. He's an Arsenal fan.
Arsenal fans won't be happy at the cup result today. However, Ben Davies at the back, very, very good.
Well, bonus
Sterling
points,
still
didn't he?
to play. Bonus points. Lewis Dunk on the bench, thankfully. So
good decision. Hope Sterling plays for you.
So yeah, Dunk could be coming in for Sterling with a big fat 0. Let's see, Shaqiri 9, very, very good. So 56 for David, closing the gap a little bit on Jamal. Georgie, whoa, here we go, 71, nice score. Let's see here. So Salah, Mane, Shaqiri, Davinson Sanchez got 8 points for Spurs.
2 baps.
Look at that, awesome stuff. No City players. Otamendi 3rd sub. Bellerin on the bench as well. Doesn't look like either of those guys are coming on. Did Dragovic play? Let's see. No, he didn't. So actually, he's going to have. Let's see. Dale Stevens potentially coming in. Don't know if Stevens is a defender or a midfielder, to be honest. So yeah, not a bad game week for the guy in 3rd place here. So it's not looking too bad at the top of the FPL Family League. D-Boy's still in there, 1762. Jamal's still well out in front though, 1831. So Jamal, props, good work, still doing well, mate. I don't know where you are overall, Jamal. Let's have a look. I think I saw on Twitter that you were, about the sort of 13-ish mark. So that is still unbelievably good, unbelievably good. Oh, here's the cat. Hello, cat.
It's the other cat. This one's never made an appearance. It's Archie.
So shout out to Jamal. Well done, mate. Keep plugging away. Good scores. Let's talk then about the game week. So that's how our teams got on. Not looking too bad, I don't think. Where do you want to start this game week? Do you want to start with Man United versus Chelsea? Let's talk about what happened at Old Trafford.
Okay. Well, okay. I think we should start by just, before we talk about the result, we should talk about Willian, who I thought looked great again today.
Yeah, he did, absolutely, yeah.
And from a fantasy point of view, he does seem to be ticking over the points nicely, getting into dangerous positions. Yeah, I think the more I watch Willian, the more I think I like you.
I think he's always been a good player.
Oh,
I think
I
the challenge
agree.
you've got with Chelsea's front three is there's always a risk of rotation.
Well,
There's
like
a Pedro there and all the rest of it, right? So in the middle now, there's potentially he's a bit insecure. But those front players, you've always got the risk that they've got a few options there. But I can't see how he dropped Willian right now.
No, I can't either.
Willian looks really, really good. So would you bring him into your FPL team, given they've got to go to the Etihad next?
Not next. Certainly not next. But potentially he's one that because obviously, as we all know now, I'm playing my wildcard in 32. He's one that's on my radar for game week 32, certainly. Because I think if he continues to play the way that he is at the moment...
Yeah. So Dom J is saying, quite right, issue with Willian is he gets hauled off early. That can happen.
Absolutely.
Can happen.
Yeah.
So as much as he gets limited game time and comes on from the bench, he sometimes comes off.
Does it matter if he scores you a goal and then goes off early? It's the same as what we've talked with City before, isn't it? About the rotation risks and about them going off at 60 minutes or 70 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's one I'm watching definitely at the
moment.
In
your wild card, do you think game week 32?
That's
could be a nice differential.
He's one I'm thinking about for my wild card. Yeah, he's on my radar watch list for 32.
Okay. In terms of bonus point system, so BPS for this game week. Third only to second actually only to Lukaku.
Yeah.
Quick word on Lukaku. Has got a lot of stick in the past for being a bit of a flat track bully. Turns up against in particular from us. Yeah, we've said that before. You're absolutely right. Only turns up against the little teams. Goodness me, turned up today. Did very, very well, I thought.
Yeah. I think Mourinho really wanted to win today, though, didn't he? You could get that feeling from even before the game, and it's going to affect your players, I guess.
I don't know how they do it. I don't know how Jose does it. Right, so I thought they were second best for big parts of that game today. I thought Chelsea were on top of them, all over them, especially first half.
Yeah.
First 25-30 minutes, Chelsea were by far the better side.
And should have been more.
And probably should have been ahead, because I think Morata clattered the bar after sort of 5-10 minutes or whatever. But you've got to hand it to United. You've got to hand it to Jose. In the big games, he just knows how to get a result. And they
stole it from us. We were the same when we went there.
Yeah, and without playing amazingly well. I don't think United played amazingly well today.
No, I agree.
But they've got the result. They've got the win, and that's what matters. And
I think from a fantasy point of view, watching that game, and I sat and obviously watched the whole thing today, and I was thinking to myself, from a fantasy point of view, the only player really that's actually sparking my attention from an FPL perspective was Willian. It wasn't the United players.
Yeah, interesting.
And so
Jesse Lingard. Can we go back there? I think so. Can we go back there?
I just was kind of like, I'm watching this game and I'm looking at Lukaku, and yes, he scored a goal today, and yes, he's got an assist today.
But at that money, you're not investing in it.
But I'm not investing in it.
No.
And I looked around the rest of the Man United team, and I'm invested in Jones at the moment. But I mean, that guy, seriously, he's injured more than anyone I've ever met. He's such a frustrating fantasy player to own, because when he plays, he's amazing, and he'll get you clean sheets, and he'll always get 3 bonus points. Then you don't play for 5 weeks, and you're kind of like. Ugh.
But the JLingz thing makes me laugh. I mean, so Joe Finley Banner, thanks for joining, Joe. He's saying he transferred JLingz out, obviously scores points this week, and he didn't the whole time that he owned him. He is turning into, as Dom J is saying, the ultimate troll. And we've had some cracking trolls so far this year in FPL, but JLingz. Jesse Lingard is definitely up there. He ain't done squat for a long time. People have been ditching him in their thousands, because he had a sort of 2 or 3 game weeks where he was like worldie after worldie.
And we were talking about how you had to have him.
He was just essential to have. And then he just was like, overnight, went completely off the boil.
Massively.
All of a sudden pops up with another goal. I'm not thinking on the back of that goal, I'm going to go and invest in Lingard again. I don't, he didn't start the game today. I don't think that he's kind of first choice in there anymore in Mourinho's mind, so I'm not buzzing to get back on him. No,
so for me, it was Willian really who shone for me in that game.
Jeff kept Lingard. Nice work, Jeff.
Oh well, Jeff,
okay.
You've done
had to put up with a few weeks of dross, Jeff. So fair play to for keeping on to him to get the goal today. Good effort.
But yeah, I mean, I think if you're a Chelsea fan, or if you're Chelsea, you can feel mightily hard done by to not come away with something from that game.
Yeah, and just slightly off of FPL and onto sort of Premier League, Chelsea got to go to City next, and then a blank. I think they're a couple of points behind Spurs in 5th. I might have got that wrong, but I think they're a couple of points off, given that you won.
We won, yeah, and that put us in the top 4 again.
Puts them in a pretty tricky position now, Chelsea. I mean, they've got to kind of go to the Etihad and get something now, which is a very tricky thing to do.
It makes that Easter Sunday Chelsea-Spurs game incredibly interesting.
Yeah, and I think Liverpool and United is soon as well. Maybe second week of March. I think we've got to go to Old Trafford. So a lot of really important games. A lot of very important games coming up. So go on then. So
very tight for 2nd, 3rd and 4th, rather, not at the top.
Absolutely. Well, yes, absolutely. I think City.
They've run away with it.
I think there's no issue with that.
No.
So that's United and Chelsea. Let's talk about the other game today then. Palace versus Spurs. We come off the back of when you beat Arsenal 1-0, and we said, Spurs have battered Arsenal 1-0. Felt the same again today. I think you battered Palace 1-0. Because they're like I said before, Palace's goal, it led a charmed life. There's a lot of big misses there, actually. What did you make of it?
It was the best game of football I've ever watched. We played.
I particularly like, by the way, your little dance on 87 minutes, and whenever Kane, when the corner whipped in, and I thought Eriksen hit it, and I was getting nothing from Eriksen from that game, given that he cost me 4 points. I was sitting there going, spent 4
Huffing
points,
and
going to give me nothing.
2 Spurs players this game week.
And then the corner comes swinging, and I thought, that's too deep. Again, Eriksen, for goodness sake. And just Kane kind of popped up out of nowhere with a very, very good header back across the goal. And if there's one person you want in that position, it's Harry Kane. You were up, little dance around the living room. It was and you were getting, it was proper like down in the dumps emotion for a while, and then it was suddenly you were up celebrating.
To be honest, I didn't cope very well in that game at all. I think that's the understatement of the year. I don't know what it is about us some weeks where we play outstanding. We play really well. We made great chances. They looked like a team that wanted to win the game. Given that we were playing without Jan Vertonghen, still no Toby, so it's definitely not first choice team.
Yeah. Ben Davies, by the way, looked good today.
Ben Davies looked fantastic.
Yeah.
I thought Davinson Sanchez had another great game at the back. I didn't ever feel that we were at risk of losing the game.
No,
not really.
No, I thought you were
they
in
had
control.
a couple of chances,
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, they could have taken. But I always felt that we were in charge of the game. But I was getting to a point about 80 minutes where I was like, it's just not going to be our day today. It's just going to be one of those 0-0 draws. And from a personal and fancy point of view, that's a total disaster. And then you were winding me up telling me Millie was going to get a penalty in a minute. And blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so yeah, for me, it was a very difficult game to watch. From Aurier, I think I just wanted to lose the plot with him. How he's missed that ball, I do not know.
As well as missing a sitter.
0 crosses completed this game week.
He was bad again, I thought.
Bad? Understatement century. Trippier has to play for me next game week.
Yeah, and a word on Palace. I think Sky put up a stat on the screen while we were watching it, and I can't remember the number of games, but it was, here's the number of games Palace have played since the beginning of last season without Zaha. And the win rate was 0. I don't know what it was. In my head, I think it was 9, maybe it's 13. But whatever the stat was, they haven't won any games in that period of time when Zaha hasn't played. So that just shows you how important he is to them, and how actually I thought Palace were a bit one-dimensional today. They had a couple of big guys up top, obviously Benteke and this new chap whose name I forget, who's stuck out wide. They held it up, relieved the pressure on the defence a little bit, which was good. And by God, they needed that pressure relief because Timothy Fosu-Mensah being shoved at centre-back looked like a fish out of water. And the other geezer next to him, whose name again I've forgotten because he's a youngster and I don't think he's ever played a game before, actually didn't do too bad on that side. Didn't play amazing, but didn't do too bad given I think it was pretty much his debut. But yeah, absolutely, Spurs should have won that game by more.
And I think that's where my frustration partly lies, is that, you know, from a Premier League point of view, great, another important 3 points in the bag. Move on. Let's move on to Rochdale on Wednesday night.
Quick word on Dele Alli, because a lot going around on Twitter about, and the guys are saying on live chat, another dive. Was it another dive today? It was a bit less obvious, but it was still a dive.
I would argue today. I don't normally support
Spurs goggles.
No. I don't normally support Dele. If it's a dive, I'll call him out on it. And all the other times this season, it's definitely been a dive. I'd argue today that it looks more like there was a touch today. I thought it was a penalty. Even after the replays, I still think it should have been a penalty, but it is what it is. Yeah.
Okay.
I think from a fancy point of view, it's just a bit frustrating because your key players, the likes of Kane and co, were the ones that were missing. They were just missing chances left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
So it just needs to be a bit more dynamic, I think.
Okay, so in terms of Spurs assets, given that they don't play in 31, I'm not thinking about selling anytime soon. I think you've got a couple of nice games coming up. Form looks good. Could have been more goals. I think Huddersfield at home next. So goodness me, you want some Spurs players for that. And one that I'll be looking at is potentially Ben Davies, because I think he looked really, really good and seems to be keeping Rose out the side at the moment.
Yeah.
I
expect to see Rose on Wednesday night against Rochdale.
Oh yeah, I forgot you've got that extra game. Well, let's make sure all your players come through that unscathed. But,
just one to be wary of. I mean, I don't necessarily expect to see a full strength team, but then also he's been bitten by him once, so I would expect to see more of our starters. I'd expect to see Sonny. Oh, that's another thing we should talk about really, is Sonny, because actually a lot of fantasy owners with him not played the last 2 games, coming on for bits and pieces. I think he's becoming a bit of a risk as a fantasy asset now.
So Rick Powell, who's a new name to the chat, not heard Rick Powell come on before, so thank you for joining. He's saying Son should be starting ahead of Ali. What do you think of that?
Yeah, well, from a Spurs perspective,
Ali out, Son in. What do you think?
So from a Spurs perspective, in terms of form, absolutely. Sonny, I think, has been really unlucky to lose his place. Having said that, I don't know. I just think that they're very different players, and Lamela and Sonny, it's more of a straight swap for those two than it would be to swap Lamela in for Dele or...
Plus you've got Lucas Moura now as an extra option, who again looks reasonably lively coming
Lucas Moura, I thought when he...
I like the look of him, by the way.
Yeah, so he looked really good against Rochdale. He looked good again today when he came on. I think he's going to be a really good Spurs player.
Okay.
And I think he will eventually get a starting place. So we just got to watch that and see who loses out for him, because it's certainly not going to be Eriksen.
Okay, not a lot of love for Spurs on the live chat, I have to tell you. I'm not going to read some of these comments out, but there's all sorts going on.
There's a lot of bitter Arsenal fans in. Is that what you're telling me?
It's not the bitter Arsenal fans. Jamal is quite a big Palace fan, as you know.
There's some bitter Palace fans.
I don't know if it's bitterness. I wouldn't necessarily ever put Jamal down as bitter, but he's saying, "Sam, you're blind. Ali is an effing diver." So it's Ali red card! Exclamation mark! Exclamation mark! Hey, listen, look. We've seen. And look, we'll move on from Ali in a minute, but we've seen other players get retrospectively banned for diving.
Look,
He's now done it 3 or 4 times, and nothing seems to happen. So is he untouchable, this kid, or what's happening?
I'm not gonna deny. But have you seen the video of Wanyama? I think it's Wanyama. I think it's Wanyama. Yeah, diving into a swimming pool pretending to be a Dele Alli. He does a Dele Alli pretend dive and just kind of goes. Of course, it's the most brilliant. I'll see if I can find it and send it to you. I'm not going to deny that Dele Alli has a tendency to dive. However, all I'm saying is that I felt today's was less obvious than some of the others.
All right, let's move on from Spurs then.
Sorry,
let's go to Anfield then, where there was plenty of fantasy points all over the shop from a Liverpool perspective. So I think coming into this game week, particularly as we're all planning for game week 31, the Liverpool triple up definitely looked on. We said this a couple of weeks ago.
I did it this week.
And I think the triple up consists of 100% Salah.
Yeah.
For goodness sake, if you're not on Salah yet, guys, and if anyone's watching this and they've not got Salah...
Does Jamal not have Salah?
Oh no, he's got Salah, of course he has. Got Mane as well.
Oh, he's got both.
No, Firmino.
Oh, that's right, Firmino.
So if you've not got Salah, this guy is like a freak of FPL. We haven't seen anything the likes of this since Ronaldo, Suarez days, right? So you've got to have Salah. And before I talk about the rest of the Liverpool triple up, do you think Salah now? And I read this on I think on Twitter before I come on. Do you think Salah is now, he's armband from now until the end of the season, captain? Stick it on him, leave it. He returns every game week. Or is it not as simple as that?
It's not as simple as that.
Kane at home to Huddersfield next game week. Salah at home to Newcastle. Tricky, right?
So that's a tough decision for me, which one it will be. The reason I say it's not as simple as giving it to him every week is that he's not going to have a double game week. So you're not, even if you've got West Brom, you'd still give it to somebody that's got 2 games, surely.
Yes, I think
in the double game.
Yeah.
That's why it's not as simple. For most weeks, yes, I think absolutely Salah gets the armband, and this is coming from me, always Captain Kane camp. I think Salah would get the armband for me most weeks.
Yeah.
Next Saturday, it's more of a tough decision for me because I think Spurs at home to Huddersfield.
It's tough, isn't it? It's tough, but we'll talk about that another time. For now, the Liverpool triple up, it's on. I think a lot of people were doing it, and if you think about what the plan for Game Week 31 looks like, I think a Liverpool triple up, I think is a cornerstone of that.
Well, I did it this week.
So you've got Salah, most have got Firmino and or Mane, and then if you've not got those front 3, and if you've got those 3, fair play, because they've really come in for you this game week. Are all 3 of them going to score every game week? Possibly not, but they do look very, very dangerous.
They could easily.
But if you're not going to go for those 3, then you go for 2, and then you potentially go for Van Dijk, or you go for the new Alonso, Robertson. I thought Robertson was absolutely fantastic against West Ham at the weekend.
Yeah, so I had a
man of the match by a long way.
Really interesting conversation. I'm really sorry, I can't remember who it was with because I spoke to so many people this week who was a Southampton fan and was saying who should he get out? What should he do with Otamendi? Who should he swap him for? And I was like, well, I've done Otamendi to Van Dijk.
To Virgil,
I can't do that. Morally, I can't. As a Saints fan.
Oh, right, okay.
So I was like, we'll do Robertson then, and actually massively paid off for him, didn't it, this game week in a way they did for me with Van Dijk. So I decided for game week 31 to do Van Dijk this week for Otamendi, because I felt that I do need some more defenders to play in 31 because it's all very well and good loading up my forwards, but some of them won't play. I need the defensives to play. Okay. So that's why I did Van Dijk over. I keep want to call him VDV because of
Van der Vaart. So what was your thinking in getting Van Dijk over Robertson then? Because that seemed like a very popular transfer. Somebody out for Van Dijk. Everyone was going, well, it's got to be Van Dijk. On the back of getting 7 points potentially, on the back of some very good aerial dual stats. But Robertson has shown this game week he could have had 2 or 3 assists. The guys are saying absolutely right. Could have had 2 or 3 assists.
Yeah, agree.
Joe's brought him in this week. Fair play, Joe. Great shout.
Yeah,
great shout.
Absolutely. And for me, the reason I don't know. I think there was something about the security blanket of he's very expensive. He's going to play every week, and therefore he must be good. Whereas with Robertson, he's just a kid, isn't he? You know, like he's just, but he's brilliant. But there's a security comfort in somebody that's more expensive. I don't know.
Well, I think there's something there, isn't there? You're not going to pay 70 million quid for a defender like Van Dijk and not play him and drop him. You know, the fans will be like, what the hell's going on?
Exactly.
However, I also think, and the general feeling amongst the Liverpool community on Twitter is, if Klopp dropped Robertson now and brought Moreno back in, you would also be going, what the hell are you doing? Because not a lot of love for Moreno out there, and you know, clearly, you know, I've been quite critical of him on these vlogs in the past. But I've got nothing but praise for Robertson. Nothing but praise. He's got a really good understanding down that side of it with Mane.
But do you
gets
think
forward,
it
good for it.
Which of the two you have, really?
What, Robertson or Van Dijk? Well, yes, it does, because Robertson, I think, right now is the better pick. Not only is a bit cheaper, but he looks as if he's more likely to get attacking returns. Now, don't get me wrong, the stats suggest, and again, very good aerial duel stats again for Van Dijk at the weekend. Had a couple of headers in the box. I think a goal's coming for Van Dijk. I think he's going to get up there. He's going to get his head on one at some stage. But Robertson is getting forward with so much menace right now, and the ball's coming in from this kid. It looked really, really good. Actually, Trent Alexander-Arnold on the other side looked very good. So if you're looking for a real differential option, maybe Trent. But I'm expecting Gomez to come back at some stage. I was going to say more rotation risk. So there's more of a rotation risk there. But at 4 point, whatever he is, 8, 7 or 8, Andrew Robertson looks like a very, very good pick right now. So fair play if you brought him in.
I guess if you... Right, so for me, I've already got a Liverpool defender now. I'm not going to waste a transfer swapping in for another Liverpool defender.
I think that's right,
But if you've got no Liverpool defenders and you're looking for somebody to cover you in 31, or just a decent defending option, which there doesn't seem to be many of around at the moment with a lack of clean sheets, but one that will go forward... Why not Robertson? Yeah,
and a couple of the guys are saying, so Joe, thanks for that, Joe, and Spencer's also saying that Nathaniel Klein, who's a bit of a forgotten man actually at Liverpool because he's been injured for so long, but again, you know, when he got injured, he was almost like the premier right back for England almost, and was very much our first choice. You know, so that right back slot now with Trent and Gomez and Klein potentially coming back, I think you steer clear of that. But you look the other side, and all right, you've got Moreno there as well, but I cannot believe, bar an injury, that Moreno gets back into that side ahead of Robertson. I just can't see it. So
I think you're probably right.
So for me, Robertson a very, very good pick. What else was going on in that game? Emre Can 4.8 in FPL. Is he an option for Gameweek 31? Given that we're going to play?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, you could pretty much read off any Liverpool name, and I'd go, yeah.
I think at 4.8, he's not a bad little punt. The only bad side of it is that he's got to take up one of your 3 slots. So you've got to not have Van Dijk, Robertson, and someone in the Mane, Firmino, and Salah thing has got to miss out. So from that perspective, he takes up a slot. So.
I think for me, the 2 key players are Salah and Firmino. You have them both, and then you use up your other Liverpool option with either Mane or Robertson, depending upon where you are, or Van Dijk, if you want to go that way. Okay. But yeah, for me, the Liverpool triple is, if you're not doing it, why? Okay.
Some of the guys, and this is exactly why we live stream with you guys on this, so perfect, really, really good insight. Chan is on the brink of a suspension, Rick Power saying, and when it's saying he's rested on 9 yellows, so that's great insight, guys. So
there you go then, that's the reason not to do him.
Absolutely could be an option, however, watch out for that extra yellow, and he's that sort of player. He loves a yellow card, Chan, so look out for that one. So that's a great point, guys. Well done. Other things to talk about in that game. I don't want to talk too much about Salah. He's amazing. He misses a lot of chances, so therefore the bonus points are a problem. He doesn't get as many bonus points as he should do, Salah. However, how good could he be, this guy? I mean, he's already scores a ridiculous amount of goals.
How old is he?
No, he's not a kid.
He's not that old.
No, he's mid-20s.
Yeah, but he's still not, as it goes, as a footballer goes, he's still got, I mean, he's good, this is his first proper season, isn't it? I know he's, what do you mean? I know he's been in the Premier League, I know he's been at Chelsea, and,
Yeah, but he's been playing at Roma for a couple of years and been pretty good over there.
Most people don't come to most people don't come into the Premier League first season at a club. Play like he's done.
Well, no, it's not always. No, they take a bit of time to settle in. You're right. Yeah.
You don't come in and score that many goals and be up in competition for the Golden Boot. Not usually.
No. But the guy is just so full of confidence right now. He's so full of confidence, unbelievable. Michelle's saying Salah's 25, so it's a good shout. So I want to talk very, very quickly because we're on with 10 minutes to go already, and we've got a couple more games to talk about. want to talk about the bonus points this week and the BPS system. So some of you guys, JC Liv is on here talking about BPS as a joke.
It is bonkers this week.
This week seems to be a bit weird, right? So Salah misses a lot of chances, doesn't get the free bonus points. Kane misses a lot of chances, gets the free bonus points.
No, Kane didn't get bonus points.
So Kane misses chances, doesn't get the free bonus points. And then you go over to Stoke, Butland scores an own goal and gets free bonus points. I think there's been a lot on Twitter this game week about the bonus point system being a bit flawed. I happen to think that it actually isn't that bad. I actually think it's all right. I think this game week has been a bit of a weird one, but generally speaking, it's not too bad.
This season, sorry, have a yawn. Oh, you're not boring me, honestly. I don't know what happened then. Lack of oxygen in the room, isn't it supposed to be? This season for me, the bonus point system's been a bit better.
Right.
So last couple of seasons, it's felt a little bit like, you know, you'd watch a football match and there'd be somebody out there that, you know, doesn't really get the credit for the way that they played in games. Like, you know, you wouldn't often see defenders with bonus points like over the last few years. This season, that's shifted, and we've seen defenders. You know, look at a lot of the games over the last couple of days. Davis and Sanchez at the Spurs game, for example, getting bonus points. So for me, it's been better. But this game week, it is odd. So when you've got a 1-0 game, if we go back to Spurs for a minute, 1-0, you'd expect the person that scores the goal to get the bonus points.
Yeah, but if that striker is missed,
I agree.
4 or 5 big chances potentially, then he doesn't deserve bonus points.
But deserves no bonus points? He's
maybe,
won the game.
But then you look at Davinson Sanchez, who did get bonus points, and you think, well, he marshalled that back four really well today, played really well.
Yeah, no.
Lots of passes and
but
completion and blocks and stuff.
A guy that scores an own goal deserves to get 3 bonus points, even if he's made 9 saves in a game.
So listen,
he threw the ball in his own net. I mean, you saw it; it was terrible.
It was a bad one. However, and I will stand up for the system here a little bit. He was phenomenal outside of that.
Yeah,
one of the saves off of Mahrez was fantastic. So listen, we could do a whole vlog on the bonus point system.
Yeah.
I have to say I'm a bit. I'm not with the majority on Twitter. I think a lot of people had Salah and Kane and they're a bit upset about losing on 6 bonus points this game week. I am too, don't get me wrong, I'd like those points rather than not have them. But in defence of the bonus point system, I don't think it's too bad. Right, let's move on from that. We've got a few games to rattle through. Where are the headlines from this game week? Let's talk about the fact that Vardy and Mahrez got nothing for Leicester. So 1-1 at the King Power, Leicester versus Stoke. Great goal by Shaqiri.
Another assist from Joe Allen as well.
Another assist from Joe Allen. I think Brighton maybe got the assist for, or was the one that he kind of smashed it across for the own goal. Leicester didn't look too bad, but a bit out of sorts. Any thoughts on that game? Any Stoke assets that you want to get in on because of 31?
Shaqiri
seems the only one, doesn't he? I think he's the only one.
Yeah, Shaqiri for me. And he will. Oh, yeah.
Okay. I think a lot of people were looking to pile on to Vardy or Mahrez because they had these 3 nice games before 31. I think that game at the weekend might just temper that a little bit now. Mahrez played pretty well. Vardy looked, and I read this somewhere, Vardy always looks great against the bigger sides, and the reason he does is because those bigger sides come and play. They come and play and they attack. Vardy gets in behind. That's where he likes to play, off the shoulder, and he's in there and he's ratty and he gets in there and he's good. Yeah. When he goes, when Stoke come to Leicester, that's a lot harder because they sit a bit deeper and they don't give him that space in behind, and they rely on their creative players far more, like Mahrez. So I'm not potentially looking at Vardy, given that they've looked like they've got 2 nice fixtures on paper. Yes, he can get penalties, he can get goals. It's Jamie Vardy, he get goals.
Score a hat-trick next week.
Yeah, potentially, right? But for me, the fixtures, yes, they look okay for Leicester, but I'm not jumping on them quite so quickly.
No, I think that's the right thing. I think to kind of temper that Leicester craze is probably the right thing. Okay.
A quick word on Watford 1, Everton 0, which, by the way, was a terrible game to watch. I don't know if you guys watched it, but it was awful. The reason I want to talk about that game is because both Watford and Everton play in Gameweek 31. So I was watching that game thinking, right, here we go. This is an audition now for who's going to be in my Gameweek 31 team.
Yeah.
Wow. I was coming out of that thinking, I don't know if I want anybody. I was thinking of Watford defender, maybe. I was like, do I want Mariappa? I don't know. But so I'm going into 31, and I'm thinking, do I pile on to Everton, given that they play 31, looking at their game week 32 and 33 fixtures, which are really tough, without a wild card to fix that in 32? I don't think I want Walcott. I don't think I want Siggy. I mean, some of these guys look really bad.
And we were just saying this before we came on, weren't we? This is where you and I differ, because I have my wild card left. I look at that 31 team that I'm creating somewhat differently, because I don't have to think about them beyond 31, whereas obviously you do. So whilst I watched Watford and Everton and thought, my God, this is the worst game I've ever seen in my life. Not quite, but you know what I mean.
It was bad. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
And don't really fancy any of them. I'm also sitting on it thinking, I've got my wild card and get rid of these guys. Are Walcott and Siggy worth a chance, given that I can just sack them off the week after? Okay. For me, yes, particularly Siggy, he's a proven fantasy league asset. There's no reason why he can't go and score a goal in game week 31. So, maybe. So
Joey's saying Everton 1 away win in 13 months or something.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, I got no stats to back that up, Joe. I'll take your word for it. But if that's the case, that's pretty bad. I mean, I don't like what Big Sam is doing right now. I can't believe this guy was England manager once upon a time, right? He's so uninspiring as a manager. And I tweeted this the other day when maybe because I'd wasted 90 minutes of my life watching that game. But then Big Sam came out afterwards and he said some words to the effect of, we need to be play a bit more like Watford do. Keep it tight, go for the clean sheet, and then nick it 1-0. And when a manager comes out with a statement like that, that does not inspire you to get on Sigurdsson or Walcott or Niasse or Tosun or any of those players, because you're thinking, if that's his mentality,
no, you're right.
I'm not interested in picking them up at all. So, listen, I'm not looking at Everton at all. Watford, also very uninspiring. Maybe a defender, but again, I'm not gagging to get them in. So, less said about that game, the better. Talking of uninspiring managers, a very quick word on Alan Pardew at West Brom. What the hell is going on there, West Brom fans? If there's any West Brom fans on the live chat, want to hear from you guys. This is like, and I've seen some stats, something like 4 wins in 40 or something for West Brom now, or for Alan Pardew. It is so bad. It is so bad. And West Brom, Huddersfield...
Who haven't been great lately, by the way.
What? I mean, Huddersfield are, Huddersfield, they're having having an alright season based on people who expect them to go down and be where West Brom are. So for them to go away to West Brom and really put West Brom to the sword was bad. And, oh man, even like Mounier looked like a world-class striker at the Hawthorns at the weekend because Gibbs was just standing off him and Hagazi was giving him space. Listen, I've got a soft spot for West Brom. I like them. We spoke on these vlogs before about Rondon and the guys who got the assists like Tim Nyon. So we like a bit of banter about West Brom. But I tell you what, they are dead and buried. West Brom. I would not be getting on their assets at all. I have got Ben Foster.
I was going to say
I have got Ben Foster. I'm not happy about having Ben Foster.
But he's going to play 31.
But he's going to play 31. So I kind of have to stick again, don't I? But I'm not looking to bring in any of their players at all. I thought it was really, really bad. Plus, you've got all the taxi stuff that was going on the other week in Spain or wherever it was. I'm like, oh man.
That might be the single funniest story I've ever heard. Because it's not even like the bad boys of football that have done it.
It's like Johnny Evans. He's not one of the good guys, is he?
Happened?
Gareth Barry.
Absolutely quality.
Well, listen,
I'm sure that West Brom didn't think it was absolutely quality, but when I read it, I thought it was brilliant.
It's bad, but I do want a quick shout. So Jamal has said Huddersfield assets looking good, and I'll tell you what, Jamal, you took the words out of my mouth, mate. That is looking, after the Spurs game in 29, they've got Swansea at home, then they have got a game, Palace at home in 31, and then for someone like me who's not got a wild card to fix the dross of 31 in 32. Newcastle at home and Newcastle away, Brighton away for Huddersfield ain't that bad.
So are we talking about Mounier again?
Wow.
Are we back there?
Well, listen, I'm looking at Wilson and thinking that is really uninspiring. I'm looking at Mounier thinking maybe. But listen, I'm not doing it now because of the Spurs game. But yeah, I mean, Huddersfield, that's a great shout by Jamal. That is a great shout. Huddersfield, for those of us that haven't got a wild card in 32 to sort your team out, like me, Huddersfield might just be I was just going to
Might
say...
save you bacon?
I was just going to say Huddersfield might be the answer. I can't believe Huddersfield are the answer to anything. They're that bad. But
Are you still in?
I know. I'm obviously not feeling well. Right, let's crack on.
Huddersfield might be the answer.
Huddersfield is not the answer.
My goodness.
Not the answer. Let's talk very, very quickly. Very good performance by Brighton against a rejuvenated Swansea. Swansea have looked good, actually, in recent times. Dunk, a bit unlucky with his own goal.
He's still got 4 now this season.
He's like an own goal machine.
I think
loves an own goal.
I heard that he's got the most own goals in the season now.
Yeah. And Glenn Murray, actually, I watched the highlights of the match today. Glenn Murray could have had more than 2. He could have had 3 or 4 goals that game. A very quick word, and keep an eye out, not just for Locadia, the new guy that plays for Brighton, but I tweeted about, and I'm going to get his name wrong, another name that I love pronouncing, Izquierdo, I think you say it. Tricky player, direct, pacey, plays on the left wing, I think, for Brighton. Yeah. Looks good. Looks like a very, very handy little player. So, looking at the Brighton fixtures, do you invest? So, I don't think they play.
And a little shout out to Anthony Knockaert, please.
Yeah, he took his goal well. He did take his goal well.
I'm a bit of a fan of Anthony Knockaert.
Brighton have got Arsenal at home, Everton away, then a blank, and then a couple of home games which look a bit better. So, I don't think you'd invest right now in Brighton. Maybe if you've got a defender, you might want to think about switching out. But listen, Izquierdo, I thought he passed the eye test really nicely at the weekend. So it looks good. And Glenn Murray now, is he an option? I don't know. Perhaps not with that fixture list and that blank. But listen, he could have had a few goals at the weekend. Bournemouth against Newcastle, bit of a comeback by Bournemouth. We've touched on the fact that Daniel's got hauled off. We've touched on the Ibe and the Callum Wilson misses, or the blanks, if you like. From a Newcastle perspective, thought Gale played well. Thought John Joe Shelby had a good game actually in midfield.
I think we've talked before about Newcastle, and for me the only way you'd get into Newcastle is through Gale. He's always the one. If Newcastle do anything, it's always seeming to come from him in some way or another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
Newcastle don't really inspire me.
No, and I think again they are going to be blanking because it's the Spurs Newcastle game, isn't it? So assuming you beat Rochdale, Newcastle doesn't have the blank, you're probably not investing. I don't.
Yeah, because obviously this whole thing goes up on its head again if we lose on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Because suddenly, with only my one Spurs asset in my team, I'll be going back to the drawing board again.
And then last game, Burnley versus Southampton. Not too much to say there. I thought Pope, great goalkeeper, right? Another few great saves. Gabbiadini coming from basically back from the dead. Who knows where he's been? Southampton, a bit lucky with the goal. Normally when Burnley go a goal up at Turf Moor, that's it. They'll dig in and they're very hard to beat, which they were. I don't know if you've seen it, but the ref gets in the way of the Burnley break, and then Southampton go and Gabbiadini scores on the back of that. So, but again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about that because I'm here and I'm not actually feeling like Burnley or Southampton are, massive draws for us right now in FPL.
No.
Do you think?
No.
Okay. So that's why we spend loads of time talking about Chelsea, United, and Spurs, and Salah and Liverpool, because that is where the FPL headlines are. So I think we are pretty much done for tonight, guys. Thank you for joining. Let's have a quick look at Twitter. For you guys that are still, for you guys that follow us on Twitter, thank you very much for doing that. If you don't, head over to Twitter and hit up at FPL Family on Twitter. Now, a quick look ahead to...
I was going to say, a look ahead to where we're going.
Well, listen, we haven't got time.
29.
We haven't got time to talk about your spreadsheet here. This is quite phenomenal work.
No, I don't want to talk about this. I want to talk about what we're doing on the next vlog, because obviously we need to film.
Yeah, okay.
I don't want to talk about that anymore. Talked about that. Because I think we need to film again Wednesday evening before.
So the challenge we got, guys, is we're on holiday from Thursday, right? We're flying out Thursday?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we hope we're flying out Thursday because actually
the plane doesn't freeze.
In the UK, we're about to have a bit of a cold snap, I think, according to the weather reports. It's been like -1 here today.
Not as cold as it is in Finland, though. Or
Finland is particularly, much colder. But it's been about -1 here today. I think they're calling it the beast from the east, aren't they? That's what I've seen on Twitter. The beast from the east.
Some Arctic thing.
Some Arctic something. I was
Vortex. It's called Arctic Vortex. Yeah, that's right.
Do you know what I was going to call it? I was about to call it an Arctic roll. That's something very different. That's the pudding, isn't it?
That's nice. I like them then, though. If you've got any Arctic roll.
So this beast from the east is coming in, apparently.
That is Arctic roll.
So it's going to make it really cold here over the next few days. And I think there's some snow apparently coming. So we're hoping that's not going to affect our flight on Thursday.
-1's like 28 degrees last night.
I know, yeah. So we've got to be up. pretty early on Thursday to catch a flight out of Heathrow. That might affect us doing something on Wednesday.
No.
Do you think?
I think we should look ahead? I think we should do a look ahead on Wednesday evening. Spurs are on.
Spurs and Rochdale. Are you watching that game, Ian?
Is the Pope Catholic?
Oh, pointless game to watch.
Right, so if Liverpool were on, would you watch them?
What, against Rochdale in the Cup replay?
Yes.
Depends what else is on TV.
We'll be watching. We can maybe go live during the Spurs game though.
During the Spurs game? Okay, well, potentially we could do that.
Second half or something.
So Vinyl Richie's saying -15 here now. Where are you, Richard? Where are you? He's saying get your blankets out. Yeah, quite right. You haven't got the blanket out.
I haven't actually got the blanket tonight, and I'm just wearing a t-shirt. Lee's put his money in his pocket again, put the radiator
on. Paid the bill, 50p in a metre. We've got some heating on,
so
which is good.
On behind us.
So we think, guys, that we think plan is we will come live on Wednesday night. We will look at, even though Arsenal City won't have even happened.
No, but I think we still have to look ahead.
So the current game will still be in play. However, we will look ahead to Gameweek 29 on Wednesday night, and then we'll probably potentially take a bit of a break, or we'll find a way to maybe do a Periscope or something. We've got to make sure the Wi-Fi is good, but it'll be we'll have a bit of a gap in terms of proper live streams, and I think we can call these proper now, despite the. Now we've got a proper camera and we've got proper 2 microphones, one each. And now we've got proper laptop and stuff. So hopefully the next proper live stream after Wednesday.
You said the word proper a lot.
Yes, it was. Yeah. So we'll do another proper live stream once we get back from holiday. But again, guys, thank you for joining us. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream. If you did, hit that like button as ever. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. At FPL Family on Twitter. At FPL Family on Instagram. How many followers have you got now? Up into sort of 300-ish? Above that?
Yeah, about 330 or something.
330, very good, very good. We went past 3,000 on Twitter not so long ago, on about 3,020. So thank you for your continued support on Twitter, despite all my very Liverpool-led tweets. James Brady. Thank you, James Brady. The poll. I actually did a poll.
Oh, and I think it's quite a good one.
It's quite a good poll, guys, and I've not mentioned it at all in an hour and 7 minutes. So get right now over to that poll.
Oh, do you need me to look at it, won't you?
I, as usual, don't know how to read it, so get on your phone, get on the poll, guys, and have a look at what you think of this poll. So, if I remember right, the question is, how many Game Week 31 players are you planning to have in Game Week 31? Are you going to play your free hit chip and have 11? Are you going to have, I think the next option is kind of 9 or 10. Are you going to have sort of 6, 7, 8, or are you going to have less than 6?
Well, that's interesting. So nobody's planning to play their free hit chip.
Well, that's probably because no one knows about the poll right now. So we need to fill a little bit of time.
Okay, let me.
So that people don't go on the poll.
Shall I sing a song?
No, don't sing a song. We don't want to put people off. But have a look at the poll, guys. We'll give you like a minute or two to have a look at that, and then we'll go back. While we're doing that, another quick plug for... why don't we have a plug for the community? So there's some absolutely awesome Twitter accounts out there. And we need to wrap this up, guys. But I'm just going to shout out to a few... let's go to my followers list and shout out a few people. Because there's some really cool accounts out here. Let's have a look.
Oh, got an itchy foot now.
An itchy foot?
Yeah, somebody was talking about me.
There's Jamal. Get on to Jamal if you're not already. At FPL Jamal. Boring James Milner is brilliant, by the way. Boring James Milner is great. This is a really cool new podcast, actually. You guys that, great that you tune in and watch us every week. But plenty of podcasts out there for FPL as well as the boys who got the assist, who I definitely recommend you should go and look at. I did listen to a couple of the Three Amigos podcasts with Marpaul and Chef, with Dale and with Mars. That's some good stuff as well, by the way, guys. So you need to get onto that, at Three Amigos FPL, and sign up to their podcast. That's good. It's some really good stuff. All my Liverpool accounts are in here, so don't worry about following any of them. That's just for my own personal
FPL Boss is always good.
FPL Boss is great. If you like what we do, go and head over to his YouTube channel at FPL Boss 1 on Twitter, or search in the YouTube search bar for FPL Boss, because he's pretty new to the whole streaming thing like we are, but he's very, very professional. Always got some really good stats. Always really good to join in with him. Same with JNO. He's the opposite, actually. JNO's been around for ages, so get on at JNO United on Twitter. Who else we got in here? Loads of people. Varane is always good value. Varane-esque. Heisenberg is cool. Who else we got here? Sketchy FPL is always pretty good. So loads to follow, guys. Loads to follow. At FPL Cloud on the Tinkerman. Yeah, loads of cool accounts. So for those of you that are into the whole Twitter thing, and I think that now Jamal's on Twitter. Pretty much everybody's into the Twitter thing.
Well, apart from me.
Apart from you, but one day we will get you on
I
Twitter.
do have a Twitter account. I just don't know what the login is.
You do what? An FPL one or just
no?
Oh right, okay. Well, no one's interested in your personal life. They're only interested in what you think about FPL.
No, I don't have a Twitter one. Why would I? You do.
Okay, well you could have like at FPL Family Sam or something. That'd be quite cool. All the guys would follow. You'd get quite a few followers.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be very exciting. I wouldn't be as interesting as you.
Right, let's have a look at this poll. What's going on?
There you are.
So here's the poll.
Still nobody's playing their free hit chip.
No one's playing their free hit chip, which is interesting.
Because they're going to play them in 35, presumably.
And no one's saying less than 6. So we're all in that kind of two brackets there. 6 to 8, 55%. 9 to 11, 44%. I think I'm kind of with you. Again, we've touched on the strategy for 31, or certainly what we're thinking about in terms of strategy for 31. I'm not looking to load up on duds. I just feel like...
I think it'd be a mistake for you.
Apart from the 3 Liverpool players and maybe Shaqiri, who actually I don't want in 32 and 33 because he's got bad games, I'm not looking at anyone right now and thinking they're essential for 31. Not at all. Do I want to pile in on Watford and Everton because they got a game?
No.
No. Do I want to pile in on Bournemouth because they got a game any more than I am so already? No.
Because they've got now
right out of form. I've only got Wilson. But I'm looking at like Bauer and I'm thinking, well, Bauer's been absolute guff since I've had him. Despite the fact that I love his name. I'm going to keep him because he's 31. But I'm, probably, going to ditch him more or less in 32 straight away. So I think the poll reflects pretty much what you guys are thinking. 6 to 8, 55% of you having 6 to 8 players. I think that's a decent amount, and I don't think you should worry about having any more than that. Is my opinion.
Unless you've got a wild card spare.
If you've got a wild card spare, yeah, maybe. And then you can fix it all in 32, right?
And the other thing is and that's why I've planned mine out on paper. It's because if I use my free transfers wisely, I don't have to have these duffers for more than one game week.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's fine.
Absolutely. So more on Game Week 31 as we go forward, guys, because that is a big hot topic right now on Twitter. So as usual, get onto us at FPL Family on Twitter. Hit that like button on the video. Hit that subscribe button. And thank you all for joining. We will see you on Wednesday. If you're not too busy packing. Hopefully you're packed for holiday by then.
I'll pack during the day on Wednesday. I'll be watching Spurs. So I'll be talking to you, and you'll either get... Well, let's hope you don't get Sam that Lee had to deal with at lunchtime today.
What, dancing around emotional Sam?
Well, no, I meant more thoroughly irritated during most of the game.
Irritated. Yeah, absolutely.
It's alright if you get dancing happy Sam, that's fine. If you get like really annoyed with life, Sam, then that's such a good thing.
Yeah, maybe. All right, guys, thank you for joining us. We will see you on Wednesday, and then we're on holiday Thursday, so we will see what we can do while we're away. But until then, we look forward to seeing you again on Wednesday. Thanks for joining, and see you then.
Take care, everyone. Bye.